When I was a younger player, I always believed that opposite colored bishops would lead to a draw. They were a straw drawing tendency, and that is correct in the ending. But in the middle game, it's completely opposite. It's the other way around. Opposite colors bishops actually leads to much more violent play and give you a lot of winning chances. And this is something I first realized seriously when I was a strong Grandmaster. So it's kind of a GM secret. And to tell you, to explain or to show what I mean by the lack of drawing tendencies of opposite colors bishop, we're going to see a game from the European Championship where Jesper Thybo is learning this the very hard way. He gets into a position that when I was an IM, I would have said, okay, that's probably just a draw. But today, I know that this is very, very dangerous, very, very unpleasant, and this is also the kind of positions where strong players are really good. And this Gajewski guy, he is actually pretty good. He's a strong Polish Grandmaster. I played him, got under a lot of pressure. I think it was a draw, but he is dangerous player. So let's get on with it. Without further ado, Gajewski is white against Jesper Thybo. And this is the Catalan. White is going to put his bishop on g2. The funny thing is that Jesper Thybo is actually a big expert on the Catalan himself with white. By the way, Jesper Thybo is one of two very talented Danish players. I think he will be the next Danish players above 2600, and he is probably the strongest Danish player right now. He's only, I think, 21 or something, or 22, so he will be pretty good. He plays bishop e7, which is the main line, and he, of course, knows a lot of theory. And this is, so far, the main line. a4 is what white is doing if he really wants to do something. Queen takes c4 is more or less analyzed to a draw. Bishop d7, also the main line. And all this is very, very common theory. Bishop d5 is what they do at the moment. I think bishop d5 or bishop f4 are the main options. In general, you could say that white is slightly better. He has a little bit more space. He has, like we always love to say, he has like this square under control, and black has this one under control, and we are fighting, I'll make that red, over this one. That's not completely correct, but that's sort of the state of the art. So white has a slight more space, and black is very solid, and white has put this pawn here, which makes this square weak. And this square is not something very important, but in the ending it might actually be a problem for white that his pawns are a little bit sort of estranged. Bishop d5, that's trying to solve all the problems immediately. I think Jon Ludvig Hammer recommended knight d7 in his video series for chess24. Pretty good one, by the way. He's not giving anything, but here he's trying to see if white is interested in a draw. And of course, Gajewski is not interested in a draw. No one with white will take a draw against the lower rated players. And that also means don't offer a draw. It's white's. If white wants a draw, he can offer a draw. You should not offer a draw with black. It's kind of disrespectful, in my opinion. So I would never do it. Don't offer draw with black against stronger players. It makes no sense. It's sort of just saying it's a little bit like begging, actually. Okay, h6, getting the bishop pair, but at the same time, you're forced to accept that this is happening here. Oops, yes, take. I don't know, maybe we could take here. I'm not sure it's good. White would put a rook on the d file, and black is under pressure, and this would be strong. You don't have time to get rid of it, so you will actually get your structure destroyed. Instead, playing this makes a lot of sense. Black is having all these here with a very solid structure, but at the same time, having played this move makes black's structure a little less solid. That's sort of I think I would normally, when I was a younger player, I would say that, well, oh, yeah, who cares? That doesn't matter. Come on, this pawn here is never gonna play a role, but it will play a role because it does weakens the white squares. And if you notice that we have at the moment opposite colored bishops, we have this color, this here, and we have this here, and they will never meet. So we hope they will not fall in love, because it will be unhappy love forever. They will never ever meet. They will sort of go around in different worlds the whole time. But having opposite colored bishop also means that white has a bishop more firepower on the white squares, and black has a bishop more firepower on the black squares, because this white squared bishop, it cannot defend anything on the black squares, and so on with the black square. So whoever, and this is also why this is not a drawing tendency that there's opposite colored bishop. Actually, it's the opposite. It makes the position much sharper, because whoever gets to attack on his colored bishop's square gets the initiative, and can easily win. And in general, very strong players plays very well in these positions. A5 makes sense, securing this outpost. Not that it matters that much. H4, and white knows that his ideas is going to happen on the king side. He is after this square, this square, this square, and this square. And of course he also has a very, very nice plan pushing this one here, opening files and so on. Black will try to get some counterplay. Of course, it would be nice to have this bishop attack, say something like here, but it's not very easy to get it to do that. So white is sort of better, and that's also where a space advantage helps. And e5, and that's trying to get some black square bishop. I'm not sure I like e4. He's maybe afraid of e5, but it does sort of make this bishop really bad. Queen b6 and queen d6. And it looks like black is fine. He has no problems anywhere, but he does have some long-term problems, and we will see that. Bishop e2. The bishop doesn't do anything on this diagonal. This diagonal is dead, but we all know that this square and these two squares will be interesting for white. And I think, to be honest, that white is already clearly better here. It's not like fantastic, but it's unpleasant for black. Unpleasant for black. You will know that it will not be so easy to defend d7, and it's not easy to organize a defense. You would probably like to play something like this and here, but at the moment this one is hanging, so it's not so easy to get that going. And white is going to play queen d2 anytime, and maybe rook h1, and we have already seen that one of the dream plan is to go with this pawn, because there's a hook on h6. Bishop e7, trying to get that bishop into something, and there is, after e4 and d5, better chances of creating something on f2. Queen e2, putting that queen on the line, rook takes, and here Gajewski just say, okay, I'm just gonna take the opposite colored bishop. Even though my knight is probably better than black's knight, the black knight might someday get in here and be very annoying. But this position, that when I was a junior or had 2400, I would say, this is a draw. And nowadays I would be very, very scared to be black here, because white has a clear initiative, and he's first to get his opposite colored bishop working, and he has more space at the moment because he was just first to do this. So here already he has a clear initiative. There is this move attacking here, and there's of course this move attacking here, and so on. So black is already in some sort of trouble here. Bishop c5, here bishop b4, queen h5, and here we see the already starting. It's already very difficult to defend anything without being too passive. And we see that white is also ready to play his rook to f3, and this is how you want to play with opposite color bishop. You want your heavy pieces to attack and defend at the same time. So the rook is absolutely brilliant on f3, where it defends f7, f2, and attacks f7. We should make that in a different color, right? So this is how you want to play. And black, of course, would love to exchange queens, because then the initiative will evaporate, even if it costs a pawn. It doesn't matter that much. Pawns are not so important with opposite color bishops in general. So he would love to do that, but due to the pin, it just loses. So he's already in trouble, because it's passive defense with this is not easy. If you do something like this, defending here, then you'll just get killed with d4, d5. It's just gonna come and gonna kill you. You can't defend anything. You can't get the king out. You can't do anything. f7 is having. So this is a total disaster. So instead, Thybo, he is, of course, he should not have gone for this position. It was maybe not so easy to realize that early on, but he already here sees that, okay, I have to fight for the initiative and give up a pawn and trying to get my bishop to work also. So that's kind of also the mark of a strong player, that you would love to get your initiative back. Don't sit and defend passively here. You just get squeezed like a bug. So he gives up the e-pawn, and of course the problem with the e-pawn is it gives white more firepower. He will be able to move the pawn up the hilt and further weakens the white squares, as we talked about. Rook f1, defending this pawn, and we can see that we cannot move this this bishop. Rook c8, trying to become very active now with something like this, and it does look smart. The problem is that it's kind of easy to defend. g4, and we already know that the g4, g5 is part of white's plan, and rook c1 and queen d3. And I think this maneuver that it simply slipped from Thybo. He didn't see it, when he sacrificed the e5 pawn, and probably early on he thought that this kind of counterplay would be enough to get him into a decent position, but it's not. So here white is a pawn up and has the initiative, because the rook cannot remain on f6 since the e-pawn is gone. So here it just goes, and we see that if it goes somewhere weird, then this is threatening. Trying to and Thybo is of course desperate to try to get some counterplay here. At the moment, he's hoping the queen will move, and he will be able to give a check here, or attack f2 or something like that. But white can sacrifice the queen, and due to this bishop that's perfectly placed here, where it's both attacking and defending. It's attacking everywhere, it's defending everywhere. It's a wonderful piece. So you can simply take on f6 and sacrifice the queen for two, for a bishop and a rook. And this turns out totally hopeless for white. For black, doesn't get any counterplay. The king is very safe, and the rook and bishop are very strong against black king. So from here it just goes pretty fast. Check, and here and b3. Very nice move. No counterplay at all. You just have to, and of course the pawn ending is totally lost, so you can't take on d5, which is, and white is just waiting to slowly. Don't allow any kind of perpetual check. That's all you have to remember here. And even he's actually materially wise, he's probably 3 pawns up or 2 pawns up or something. So and of course he calculated this very precisely, just moving slowly forward, getting the king in, and here there are many ways to win. This is the easiest way. Just let him choke on the pawns. The king is all the way up here, And this ends it with this coming next move with checkmate. So this was rather instructive. Thybo knew that he was getting pushed back, and White was having a field day with his opposite colored bishop's attack. Attack with no opposition is always nice, and of course try to fight back. Didn't work out due to Gajewski's strong play. Very instructive game, and an important thing to remember that opposite colors bishops are not a drawing tendency in the middle game with a lot of heavy pieces and the kings vulnerable. So please don't exchange into this kind of things. If you want to have a draw, you should exchange into an opposite colored bishop ending, which is often a draw. This was GM Talks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.